San Francisco 49ers and the Minnesota Vikings. It is a full touchdown in favor of the 49ers over the Vikings. 45 is your total. I'm not here to advocate that the Vikings are a good team. I'm not here to advocate that the San Francisco 49ers are a bad team. What I am going to advocate for is there was a lot of injuries on that 49er side of the ball today. We have no idea still what that means for this coming week. Yeah, it's an extra day because this is Monday Night Football, so maybe that helps out in getting some of these guys back, but really and truly, I mean, without McCaffrey, what does this offense look like, right? Because he brings so much to making these other guys look as good as they do. So if he's not out there, I think a touchdown might be too much.
It's a lot easier to game plan without Debo and McCaffrey out there because you really only have two people you need to focus on from an offensive perspective. Then it's really, okay, how do we stop Ayuk? And are you really that afraid of Kittle anyway at this point? I mean, he looked great against the Cowboys, but those
were short. Like, I mean, those weren't even like big, gains and stuff.
It was also the fourth weapon.
Yeah,
it's not the focal point, right? So when he's the second person you're focusing on, it makes it a lot harder for him to be able to have those type of games against you. I got to remind you though, this is Kirk Cousins in primetime. Do you have are you sure you have the appetite to back Kirk Cousins in primetime?
Listen.
He's not good if you haven't heard.
Kirk Cousins has played actually pretty well so far this year. Today, one bonehead play where he threw the ball backwards as he was falling down, and you're just wondering, like,
what are you doing, man?
What are you doing, man? Like, it's just, I made the joke that he was trying to it was doing him solid because he's on his way out of town. Just give him a high draft pick, like he's just like, here's my contribution to the Vikings. Give you guys a high draft pick. But at the full touchdown, if we knew for sure that Debo and McCaffrey weren't going to be out there, I would take the full touchdown with the Vikings right now. But with us not knowing that, do we take a blind leap here and say whatever, or is this just a pass? Where are we at with this?
Well, I agree with you. If you know they're out, I like the touchdown. Yeah. I don't know if they're out. And that to me is the key here. I mean, it's a shoulder with Debo, I believe. It's an oblique with McCaffrey, but we have not gotten any solid updates on whether or not they're going to be in the game. Look ahead for this was 7 minus 115. So lost 5 cents of juice. I guess you downgrade San Francisco after today but it was a weather game. Like I'm not making a huge San Francisco adjustment unless if I do, it's because of the injuries. It's not because of anything else. Purdy was kind of the guy who I expected he was going to be in these type of situations without the weapons. And Minnesota looked disgusting beating the Bears. Like, it was not good. They had a defensive touchdown. It wasn't like they blew the Bears off the field. Their offense couldn't move the football either. So not a big adjustment here either way. If I knew they were both out, I would take the 7 with Minnesota. The problem is, as soon as they're announced out, those 7s are gone.
Yeah.
And so do you want to take it and then figure out what to do with it later, or do you want to just kind of wait and see if you can beat the news? Yeah.
It's like we got to take a leap of faith. Yeah, it's sitting here playing against what you think maybe could possibly happen and ended up with a bad ticket. It depends on how much risk you're willing to take on.
Go to VSiN.com/subscribe to become a VSiN Pro subscriber today.